Hello, and here we go again with another of our NCYC Group Leaders live streaming events, except this is outside the norm of tradition. This is going to be a non-live streaming event. I'm recording this one early, about a week before scheduled, because I will not be in the office the week of August. What are we going to be talking about? August 6th through through the 6th or the 15th, I'm going to be out of the office. So I wanted to record some information, get it up to you as soon as possible. So let's just dive right through this. At any point, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. Even though I won't be in the office, I'll be trying to check my emails every day. I know this is a busy time for everybody. If you've got questions about forms and how to get those in, I will direct you to Jim Betzner, who's managing that aspect of NCYC. If you have questions about anything else, feel free to let me know. You can also question Jim. He might be able to help you out as well. All right. So let's just move forward. Here's what I want to talk about very briefly today. We're only 3 months away from NCYC, so this is kind of crunch time for the program. So I do want to make sure I do a special welcome to those of you who are new. There's been a lot of transition over the summer, and some of you are taking on NCYC for your parish group and have no background in that. So I want to make sure I give you a little bit of a way to get caught up and welcome you into the process and introduce ourselves here at the Archdiocese and let you know that we're here to help you. So I'll do that for a few minutes. I do want to talk about the registration deadline of September 1st and what that means for everybody. I can update you on some of our current plans, including bus and hotel assignments, just so you can get a sense of how that's coming together. We do have some conversations about evening food options. I'll go through those, and we'll focus a little bit more about preparing your group. If this is your first time joining one of these live streaming events, this is a non-live streaming event. It's very important for us in the Archdiocese to consider NCYC an introduction to the rest of the teenagers' lives. So we always say the most important day of NCYC 2017 is Monday, November 20th, the day they get back and go to school and are reconnected with their families. And so how do we use NCYC to prepare them for the rest of their Christian adventures? All right, so let's dive in. So if you're new, there's a few things I want to say. First of all, welcome. Taking on NCYC, sometimes it's dumped on you, sometimes you're excited about it. So I don't want to make any assumptions, but I do want you to know that Jim Betzner and I work hard to make NCYC easy for you. We have a team of 21 adults who are volunteering to come to work behind the scenes to support you and your adults and your teens at NCYC. So please know that you are not in this alone, and we are here to help. So please, please, please feel more than comfortable to call every day if you need to feel comfortable about NCYC. I will direct you to our group leader website. This is a short link to the Archdiocesan website. It takes you right to the group leaders page. So dbqarch.org/NCYCGL stands for group leader. Pretty easy. On the group leader page, you will see a few things. There's a group leader packet that's worth looking through if this is your first time doing NCYC. It's longer than you might want it to be, but it includes as much information as we thought we could squeeze into it. So feel free to skim it until you have a specific question, then go back. The answer should be there. If by chance you find a mistake, just please let me know. Somebody contacted me last week about one, and I did revise the packet as of like 4 days ago. So there was a small change about the expectation for Archdiocesan forms. I'll talk about that coming up. So there are also a slew of videos of live streaming these past events. If you have 40 minutes and you're really desperately bored and like Netflix is out, feel free to watch those. They are going to be helpful to watch them kind of in chronological order. Of course, some of the ones that we recorded back in January might be out of date, but there's still some important nuggets in there. The March and April ones are particularly important in growing your group for NCYC and preparing your parish for success beyond the event. So I encourage you to do those if you get the time to do so. Also referenced in the group leader website is a link to what we call the group leader portal. This is where you can go to do your online registration for everyone in your group. So you will need to be able to get into the group leader portal to fully register everyone from your group. Also, you'll be able to see a lot more information like how your hotel groupings are coming together, what hotels you're staying in, what bus you're staying in, all of that kind of information, your financial transaction history, everything's going to be accessible for you there. So we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. But if you do need to log in and a password, if you do not know the login or password for your group leader portal, please let me know and we will forward that on to you as soon as we can. Okay. you that if you have any questions at all, any questions, concerns, or just thoughts or confusions, that's totally normal. This is kind of a big task to take on, so please don't hesitate at all to call or email with questions. Now to the registration deadline. This is coming up. This is less than a month away. And I know a lot of you have not necessarily completed or collected all of your forms yet because summer is chaotic, but this is an incredibly important deadline of September 1st. Now, this is not a recommended deadline. This is not a start thinking about this on September 1st deadline. This is an absolute hard and fast deadline of September 1st. Things are really difficult for us. We have the largest group in the history of the universe going to NCYC, and there are 2 of us staffed here to support that program. And there's a lot of work that has to happen in the month of September if everything's in on time. So here's just a list of what you need to have ready and in our hands by September 1st. There is an Archdiocesan Youth Liability Form. This form is specific to your site. It will include in the top right a 3-digit code that references your parish or your cluster. So it should list in the paragraphs the exact parishes that are going in your delegation and your group to NCYC. If you do not have a copy of that form, shoot me an email. I will send you a copy immediately. Hopefully you've had those already completed. The Archdiocesan adult forms are much shorter. They're just a simple paragraph. It requires a signature and a name. It's a very simple form, but we need those from you as well for all of the adults going in your group. The NFCYM is the National Federation for Catholic Youth Ministry. That's the national organization that brings us NCYC. They announced on June that they were going to require youth forms and adult forms. I did send out an email at that point, but it's possible some of you haven't received those. Those forms, all of these forms, except the Archdiocesan Youth form, are posted up on the group leader webpage. So do go there and download those forms. The NFCYM forms are available in English and Spanish. So there's 4 versions of those forms. There's youth forms and adult forms, and there's English and Spanish. Youth is determined as somebody who's 18 or under and is still in high school. If you've got somebody who's graduated high school who's going to NCYC, but they're still 18, they are considered an adult. If you've got somebody who's an 18-year-old senior, but they're still in high school, they're considered a youth. Okay, that's how we draw the line. Adults will room with other adults. Youth will room with other youth. That's important. So make sure you fill out the right form for those people. The rooming list form, it tells me how you want your group to be sharing a room together. So we try to put as many 4-people rooms together as possible. For those of you who are staying at the Hyatt place, you'll see that map coming up in a little bit. You can do 5 or 6-person groupings for your young people, and I'd really encourage 3-person groupings for your adults as much as possible to squeeze us into that space. Those are much bigger rooms, and they have the capacity to fit easily 5 or 6 teenagers. Online registration, like I referenced before, it needs to go through the group leader portal. So there's a form to help you do that. It's called the individual registration form. It's basically they fill out all the information you need for the online portion. They give it to you, and then you take that information, go online, and complete it. This needs to be done by September 1st, all the online registrations and all the forms. I highly encourage you to bring your forms to the August 10th Faith Formation Leaders / Catholic School Administrator Day. Most of you will probably be there anyway. It's probably a good idea, if possible, to get those forms to that site. Jim Betzner will have a bin there to collect those forms. I will not be there, so seek out Jim and get Jim those forms. He's going to be excited, and he might give you a big smile, or maybe even a piece of chocolate. Probably not. But anyway, he'll be grateful because it's more work for him. So, all right, August 10th day. If you do not go to August 10th because you're not the paid employee or the faith formation leader for your parish, seek out whoever is and see if they can bring them in for you. The more forms we get sooner, the easier it is on our end. And I know you all work hard to make my life easy. So thanks for doing that. If you want to mail them in before then, that's also helpful. Please, before you mail them, or drop them off at August 10th, do make a copy of every form just in case they get lost in the mail or saturated by fire retardant materials because the USPS van burst into flames. That happened to us in 2015. So make copies of all your forms before you send them in to us. You're going to want your own copies anyway. All right, here's some issues. As they come in, they're being processed. Okay, so that means that Jim's going to look through them, make sure there's initials and signatures everywhere. Jim, as soon as he processes those, will send a confirmation email to you. If there's any concerns, he'll attach a scanned copy of the form and send it back to you for completion, or he'll just send you an email that says everything's good to go. When you look in the group leader portal, some of you have already called about this. Adults who are signed up will appear non-compliant. They will say there's work to be done, or they need to do background check or Virtus training, and they'll appear red. That's a flag to us that something's not verified yet. Once your forms are processed and Jim verifies those adults have had Virtus and background checks, that'll change from red to green. Until Jim verifies them, all adults come in looking red. So don't be worried if your adults are red if you have not yet received a confirmation email from Jim. If Jim sends you the confirmation email, he's going to say these adults need this training or this background check. So it'll make sense to you after you get that email. Until you get that confirmation email, don't worry about the color. Okay. If your adults are still red by the end of September, then you should have heard from us. Otherwise, there's a possibility we just haven't checked the right box on the form. So then at the end of September, you can start being concerned about that. Please verify the date of birth. So we'll have 3 different forms. There's the online registration form, the youth form, and the NFCYM form. And we've had situations where we've had a different birthday on all 3 forms for the same person. So please check that. It's important for us to know that information just to distinguish one person from another if necessary. So we do use date of birth in our tracking system. Before you send them in, please check all signatures and initials. This will save you time and it'll save Jim time. So if you just skim through and just make sure that every signature line is filled out, and where there's required initials on the youth form for the NFCYM, please make sure all those those initials are there too. Like I said, if there's something missing, Jim's going to scan that form and send it back to you, and the hopes that you will be able to print out that scanned form, take it to whoever needs to sign it, get their signatures or initials, and then you can send it back to Jim. Okay, that's how that works on. All right, if your group is changing from now on, it's going to be a little bit more difficult than it's been up to this point. We are still maintaining a buy-sell list, which means if you want to increase your group, there is currently 1 spot for sale, 1. So we can't increase your group. We would put you on a wait list to buy a spot, and we would hold it there until probably near the end of August, in which case we'll bring you in. If you want to increase your group, a few things need to line up. You need to have room in your hotel, and you need to have room on your bus. At this point, that's pretty easy to do, but please do, before you say to somebody, yes, you can go, just please shoot me an email or give me a call and say, here's what I'm looking for. I got a youth male that is interested in going. Can it work or not? Yeah, I don't think you have access to see your bus capacity right now, but the bus max is 56 people with some exceptions. So that's kind of the big prohibition. And if there's room in a hotel room, we can sneak somebody in to share a room with some of the people who are already assigned. It's usually pretty easy to do, but please ask first because it's going to get more difficult later on. If there's a group decrease, so say you have 50 people in your group and one of them drops out, let me know, because if there's a group increase that happens somewhere else, you can get a total refund. So the parish that's growing their group will buy that spot from you, and you'll get all of the $350 you've already spent back. If we cannot find someone to buy your spot, you are entitled at this point to a $100 refund of the previous July payment. So that would issue as a credit on your financial transactions. You would still have to pay the invoice for that full $200 July payment, but you'd get $100 accredited towards your September charges. If there's a substitution that happens before September 1st, it's actually pretty easy. If it's a substitution in your group and we've not yet done the rooming assignments for you, it's very simple. All you need to do is go in to the participant tab, delete the person who's dropping from your records on the group leader portal, and then create a new participant and fill in that person's information. It's helpful if you let me know you're doing that, just in case I'm working on your group's rooming list at that point. I need to know where to put the new person, and I'm wondering why the previous person is no longer on the roster. So just shoot me an email to let me know about that if you're going to do that substitution, but it's pretty easy before September 1st. After September 1st, we are going to be cutting off your access to make any changes to your group's roster. The reason for for that is because then we need to be maintaining absolute purity of that record, because we need to be uploading all your registrations to the national registration site, and we need to know that our data is accurate. So between September 1st and September 30th, if you need to make a substitution, we can still do that, but it needs to be done on our end. So all you need to do is call me. Probably calling me, getting me on the phone would be easy, because then you could actually log into your group leader portal and watch the changes happening in real time. Or you can shoot me an email if it's easier and saying, I need to drop this person and replace this person. Please be sure to let me know which rooms you want the new person going into, what room grouping. And again, the group leader portal will be helpful, because then you can see kind of what's available for you there. So that's how the process is going to work. Between September 1st and the 30th, we can do substitutions for you. After September 30th, it's a different process. After September 30th, the substitution is going to have to go through the NCYC's page. We'll have to make the changes on our site, and we're going to have to make the changes on their site. There is a $50 substitution. I think it's a $25 substitution fee for any substitution happening after September 30th. That's NCYC's charges, and we can process that for you, but you need to let us know after September 30th. Anybody registering after October 1st, there is a late registration fee of $50. And again, please do not just assume that's going to be easy to do, but if you call us and there's a way to make it work, we're going to try to do that. Just to give you a sense of how complicated things are, this is our bus assignment map. So bus and hotel assignments. What we had to do was figure out how to fit the right amount of people in each hotel to match the rooms and how many people we think we can put in each room for each hotel. So this gray section up here in the northwest of the Archdiocese, and coming down into here, those are all people who are staying at the Wyndham property, which is the largest hotel we'll be staying at. It's a nice property. That's where our mini rally event will be on Thursday afternoon. Every bus is going to go there before they go downtown. So you all get to see the Wyndham eventually, but this is the group of people who are staying there. This green little blob here, Waterloo and Fairbank and Olwine, are staying at the Wingate Hotel. There's only 4 buses that are going to be staying there. The Wingate's a pretty large roomed property, and it's about 3 miles north of the rest of our hotels. This blue oblong looking weird thing is people who are staying at the Crown. So people who are staying at the Crown Plaza. The Crown is about a half mile west of the Wyndham. It's a really nice hotel. It's our most ritzy place to stay. And we'll have about 9 buses staying there. The people in this brown section are going to be staying at the Hyatt Place. As I said before, the Hyatt Place has 5 to 6 person capacity teen rooms and 3, and if you want to squeeze them in, 4 adults. Let's stick with 3 adults. It would be a king bed and a fold-out queen couch. So we can put 3 adults in there relatively comfortably. Married couples would get their own room, but we can put, I think, 5 boys or 6 girls in the teen rooms, which will be 2 queen beds and a fold-out queen couch, and there's 2 sinks in each room and a separate bathroom, so people can get ready pretty quick in the morning there. All right, so that's the Hyatt. So for you folks, I'll probably send you an email soon, but when you're doing your rooming list, it might have to be done differently than everybody else, because we can put you into 2 different capacity room set. All right, and the yellow blob here is the Courtyard, the hotel. It's right across the street from the Wyndham. That will be about 100 people staying there, and that's going to be Makokata and Bellevue's groups. So this is how we have people assigned. Once we have people assigned to the hotel, it's a little bit easier. And there's a bus plan for everybody in here. So you will not be sharing a bus with anybody outside of your hotel assignment. At least that's our hope, to not have to do that. Okay, you can find out your bus number and your assigned hotel by logging into your group leader portal. And if you look down in the bottom right, you can see the bus assigned. Here's the Mason City area has got 60 people, so they're actually assigned to 2 different buses. And you can see they're staying at the Wyndham Hotel. So you should be able to see that. There's only one group, Waterloo, that's on 3 different buses, but most people are only on 1 bus, and you can see that number. If you want to know who you're assigned to share a bus with, you can just let me know. That information will be coming out probably by mid-September. But I have it kind of planned right now, and so if you want to know, I can just simply answer that question for you. The bus departure and location times are going to be determined soon. So what I'll do is, once we have the buses somewhat finalized, I'll try to find a place that's the best pickup site for that bus. There's going to be some situations where a bus will have 2 or 3 pickup sites. So we'll communicate that to you as soon as we have that. So it should be coming out by early October, for sure at the chaperone training meetings, if not, like I said, mid-September. The hotel rooms are currently being assigned. If you sent in the rooming lists for your group already, I'm trying to plug through those. Those do take a bit of time to get entered in. So if you click on the hotel rooms button at the top right of your group leader portal, if I've entered your room groupings, you should be able to see them. Now, a few caveats on that. If you see your groups, it's possible that if you've got somebody who's sharing a room with somebody from a different group, you might not be able to see that person. It only shows the groups whose names are listed first in that room. So if you're the third person in that group, you won't show up on your viewing when you click on that button. So if that happens, if you're trying to find where everybody in your group is located and you see that one person from your group does not appear to have a room, shoot me an email, please, and ask about it, and I can confirm that we did enter them into a room, and I'll let you know who they're staying with. So those are only situations where we've got a person or two people sharing a group with sharing a room with another group of teens from a different parish group. That's the only reason why somebody shouldn't be showing up in your assignments. So you should be able to see that. If I did not get your rooms assigned yet officially into our database, then it'll just redirect you back and saying, sorry, those aren't done yet. So I'll get those in pretty soon. I'm going to be working on them a lot when I'm on vacation. All right, so because that's the kind of thing I do for fun. I do want to talk about evening food options. In the past, and again this year, we are going to have pizza slices available. How this works is we will typically order from an offsite vendor like Domino's or Pizza Hut, pizza delivery through the property, through the hotel. The hotel will do those orderings for us a lot of the times. In some situations, we get to do it ourselves. What we'll have available for you is if you want to pre-order tickets for pizza, they're $1.50 per slice. And then what happens is each day you'll get all the tickets for your group, excuse me, all the tickets for your group will be given to you, and you can hand those out to the kids as you see fit for them to get a pizza. So they just walk up with their ticket, they put it in a bucket, and they grab a plate and a slice of pizza and move on. If you want to get 2 slices per person, you can do that. Some groups have been ambitious and gotten 3 or 4 tickets, but you have to tell us how many slices per night. And then we'll take that order and we'll create a financial charge in your group's account, and you'll be able to see that in the group leader portal, and then you'll be billed for those pre-ordered tickets in the September invoice. If you order your pizzas between September 1st and the end of October, you will just be billed for that when we return from NCYC, probably around December. So this is an easy way for you to add one more thing for your young people to eat when they get back to the hotels at about 10:30 to 11 o'clock at night. If they're hungry and they want something to eat, this is a real quick and easy option. And this is going to be available at every hotel, probably every night. So to have pizza slices available. We are exploring some other snack options, and these are not going to be consistent from one hotel to the next. And here's why. Some of our hotels do allow us to bring outside food in and do our own little catered events. 3 of our smaller hotels do. 2 of our bigger hotels do not allow outside food to be brought in. We are exploring for those smaller properties, the Hyatt, the Wingate, and the Courtyard, the ability to do a bagged snack item or 2, where we would purchase a whole bunch of stuff from like a Sam's Club, and people can grab a bag of chips or a brownie or a cookie. So like 2 items and a soft drink for a $1.50 snack ticket. So for people staying in those properties, we can sell you snack tickets, which are different from pizza tickets, just for knowing how much food to order. And then those kids can go through with one of those tickets, grab 2 items and a soft drink, and be on their way. And bag up their own stuff if they want to. It might be the easiest thing to do. For the other properties, the Crown and the Wyndham, we are working with their catering departments to offer us a really cheap. Now, if you understand hotel catering, anything for $5 or $6 is incredibly cheap. So keep that in mind. We've heard back from one of the properties already who gave us 3 different possibilities. One of them was like a mini taco line where you can get a ticket for there, would be like $5 or $6, and you can walk through the line and fill up your plate with these little baked mini tacos, like the frozen things you can get at the store, and some chips and some salsa or cheese, and that would cost about $5 or $6. They also offered a possibility for chicken wings and a veggie tray. They offered also pizza bites and some other thing to go with the pizza bites. But the price point we're looking for is about $5 to $6 for that. So when these properties do something for $5 or $6, is going to be more expensive than what you would normally get if you were buying these things for yourself. But that's just the reality of staying at a pretty nice property. So the snack tickets, whether they are for the snack bag or for the snack buffet kind of a line, um, those will be available also for pre-order. And as we find out more about what options are available to us at each property, we'll be finalizing something here probably in the next week or two to send out to you for you to consider whether or not you want to do this in addition to or instead of pizza slices. We are pretty sure that we're going to have pizza available every night. And so you're welcome to still explore that option if it's easiest for you and just want to go with it. But there might be some times where you might want to say, let's do the pizza on Thursday night and Friday night, but on Saturday night, let's do one of these other options. As a group, you might be able to choose that. We will need X amount of people at the Crown and the Wyndham. I think it's like at least 50 people at each property before they'll even offer us the mini taco option or whatever else. So like I said, that's not confirmed at both properties yet, but we're still exploring and kind of hinting that we want to do something like that. Okay, so that's food options of the property. Also know that regardless of what we provide for you, I would encourage you to tell your young people to bring snack bars or protein bars or any other snack objects they want to bring, and they can always keep those in their room and eat them at any point. That doesn't break the whole no bringing outside food into the property. We just can't put outside food in their meeting space. So you can have it in their rooms. We're trying to keep people out of their rooms from having parties where there's 10 or 12 people gathered in a certain hotel room, because that just gets loud and stops people from sleeping. So we do want people primarily eating in the meeting space when we can. So that's why we're trying to create all these options. So do know pizza slices is almost 99% a sure thing every night, but the other snack options are up to the 75% chance. And how many nights we offer them is going to be determined by how interested you are in that. So preparing your group moving forward. So as in the next 100 days, as we are getting our group ready for NCYC and following up NCYC, a few things to keep in mind. It's certainly more than just something you raise money for, get people to and get people back from. This is not a 3-day vacation or a chance to get out of school. It's a real deliberate program on bringing young people deeper into their relationship with Christ and his church. So we want to make sure we focus on that. Available to help you do that are some preparation sessions. They're posted to our group leader website in a Word version, so you can download them and edit them and make them your own. Use them. There's a lot of great ideas there for if you're going to do a group gathering, you might as well do some formation with it as well. We have participant journals for you. If you would like to download and print off the journals, you can do that yourself. If you want to order journals from us, they are $3 a piece. They will be color printed and mailed to you for $3 per journal. We think that's actually probably cheaper than if you were to print them. In most cases, if you were to print them in full color yourself, it'll be cheaper for us to do it than it would be for you. So for $3, you can just shoot me an email with how many journals you want for your group, and that again will be billed to your group. Okay. Or you can simply download them off the website and print them yourself. The journal, you have the rights to the resources. The printing cost is the $3. Okay. If you're gathering your group and you're doing fun things, snap videos or photos and tag them in social media with biggest NCYC group ever. If you do want to tag the Archdiocese, that's always great. I think our communications department loves to see what's going on in the Archdiocese. But whatever you can do, start planning your follow-up now. So start working on what are you going to do for your group that goes off to this powerful experience and comes back and now is looking for some more options. To help you out, our Education Resource Center is developing a list of possibilities. Just to give you an example of what some of these possibilities may include. You might want to, maybe you have 40 people going in your group, but maybe only 8 of them want to keep doing something. So maybe you just form a small group. Maybe there's just one for those group of people who really want to go deeper. Maybe you're juniors and seniors who are looking for something more. So you could do a small group that's ongoing. So maybe you can get together every weekend and do a Bible study, maybe focusing on the Gospels for the the readings coming up. Maybe you can invest in a program like Y Disciple or other things from Formed that are offering small group ongoing resources for young people. Maybe you can do a small group focus thing that's only like 6 to 12 sessions, and it's a shorter term commitment for a small group. Oh, and maybe you've got 40 people in your group, and maybe there's 3 different groups of interested people, and you could do something different for all 3 groups. I'm trying to encourage you to think creatively about how we're moving forward with engaging people. So maybe you're looking at Theology of the Body for Teens, or one of the Teen Timeline video series, or Alteration, or Called, which focuses on vocations, which would be a really good follow-up to NCYC this year. Or maybe you're looking to do something more systemic. So something that's ongoing and maybe large group. A lot of parishes in our diocese are taking a look at life teen resources and investing into them as a way to continue gathering and forming their kids. A lot of our parishes use St. Mary's Press's Catholic Faith Handbook, and there's a lot of resources to use for session plans for those. Decision Point and Chosen are other resources that you can use that's kind of like more ongoing, more systemic, more than 6 to 12 sessions. Chosen, I think, is like 24, and it's a good overview of the Catholic faith. And Chris Stefano does a great job of engaging people. Decision Point with Matthew Kelly is also pretty good. The challenge is to keep them engaged and growing. So whatever resources we make available to you, just as I see it, just choose the one you think will work. Have the young people have a voice in what they're looking for. I really think that if you gathered a group of 7 to 8 kids and said, what do you want? Here are some options available to you. If you want to do a Theology of the Body series, it's going to cost us $30 or $40 for each one of you if we wanted to do that. I think if you can get that kind of buy-in and ownership over what they do next, I think you'll be able to fund the program, and I think you'll be able to increase their likelihood of taking part in it. So I'm hoping that you'd be able to take this kind of list of resources and have your young people and your adults help steer the decision about what comes next. To do anything, you need good chaperones. To do any of this, you need good, faith-filled adults. So we're trying to encourage you to revision the role of chaperone or police to a faith mentor, or somebody who's going to accompany young people through NCYC in the preparation to NCYC and perhaps beyond NCYC. So a chaperone is somebody just make sure kids aren't breaking the rules. Now, that's important. If you've heard me say it before, you'll hear me say it again. There's 2 really important goals that we have for NCYC, and those are namely that no one dies and no one gets conceived. Those are our 2 rules. So we do need chaperones to make sure that kids are being smarter than they might be inclined to be. So we want them to be safe. We want them to make good decisions. So we need chaperones to curb their negative tendencies. But we also want them to do more than that, to help accompany them through these spiritual encounters of NCYC and help steer them to the right formation sessions at NCYC for them, and to help them process those experiences. So you might want to have a training session for small group leaders or for chaperones about what small group facilitation looks like, and how that could look for your group at NCYC. You might want to set clear boundaries and expectations for your adults. Now I'm going to help you do that with the chaperone training sessions we'll have in October. Wait for the next slide. But that's something you might want to do too, is make sure your chaperones know exactly how they fit into the picture of youth ministry in your parish. And I'd encourage you to ask now, especially for those adults that you know are just that's perfect, the ones that are really clicking for your group. Ask them now if they're willing to help, maybe for a short-term commitment, maybe just through June of 2018, to sit down, maybe take a small group or 2, or to work with another adult to really focus on some young people and helping to grow them and their young people in a life of discipleship. So I'd encourage you to ask that of your chaperones as soon as you can. Here is a list of the chaperone training dates and locations. All of these are going to be about 90-minute sessions. I do try to respect people's time, but I do want to make sure everybody has a full awareness of what's going on. So we have 8 offerings throughout the Archdiocese. All of these start at 7:00 p.m. And so there's a variety of days and locations. If a chaperone cannot make one of these experiences, especially if they've been to NCYC before, I'm not going to kick them off the group. These are really valuable gatherings, so I do want you to encourage your people to go as much as you can. But please don't if somebody has to quit their job so they can attend, it's just not worth that. I mean, and nothing I do is that awesome or amazing. So I do encourage you to do what you can to get as many people of your adults to these as possible. So we try to make it easy as far as the locations go. Any questions about that, please let me know. Otherwise, you'll see this list again and again between now and October. All right. So Monday, November 20th, the most important day of NCYC, is less than 100 days away. So still be focusing on getting those required things in by the end of this month. That's really important. In the meantime, if you have any questions or concerns, there's the emails for me and Jim. Jim is the one who processes the forms. So if you have forms questions or you want to make sure everything's entered in right, you can talk to Jim about that. If you've got questions about hotel rooms or finances or charges or group size changes, anything like that goes through me. But you can email either one of us and we will try to do our best to direct you to the right answer. So that's all I got for today. Thanks for your patience and dealing with this lengthy overview of NCYC and the Archdiocese of Dubuque. Very important on behalf of Archbishop and everyone here. Thanks for everything you're doing to help our young people grow closer to Jesus and his church. All right, have a great day.